Welcome back to this series of posts, taking a look at how each Enneagram type can be its best self, its most integrated, highest expression of itself in the world during these really uncertain times with this coronavirus thing. I'm joined by my good friend, Anthony Skinner.
Ian Cron, how are you doing?
You know, man, I'm doing okay today. I'm feeling kind of sad because I see that you are in the typology studios and I am here at home.
I know.
Not in your presence.
I know. I'm missing you here.
Well,
missing having you here.
I'm sending you a Zoom hug. Okay, that was uncomfortable.
So today we're talking about Enneagram Threes.
Yeah, the performers, man.
Yes.
We want to help them be skillful in their personality type during this tough time, right? So,
yes,
wonderful human beings. Some of my closest friends, as you know, are threes. In good times and bad, they're inspiring, they're motivating, they can be patient, inner-directed, authentic, and attuned to their own feelings and the feelings of others. And that's when they're in a good space, and we need you to be in that space and shine, particularly if you're sequestered in a house, working from home, kids running around, who knows what else. So
yes.
Threes, be online.
Yeah. Let's talk about threes, just to help identify threes that maybe lose self-awareness during this time if they become too stressed.
Yeah, so when threes become too stressed, which is kind of understandable in the current environment, right?
Right.
They can lose those great qualities and become unreasonably demanding of others and themselves, emotionally detached, abrupt, and even more hyper-focused on productivity and working and hitting goals, right? More than normal. Okay?
More so than normal.
More so than normal, yeah.
Well, what are some tips to help kind of curb or cut some of these self-defeating behaviors?
Okay, threes, are you ready? Put this on your to-do list. I got 3 things to put on your to-do list. Here it comes.
All right.
Number 1, threes are innately built to thrive and lead in these times, okay? Because they are remarkably adaptive, and they can easily change to accommodate new conditions, okay, and environments. So,
okay.
When you're working remotely from home, I was just talking to a 3 the other day that, like many of us, is working remotely from home. It's important to remember that some of the people that you work with or who work for you are not as adaptable and able to adjust to new circumstances like you are, right?
That's good.
Other people are presently, trying to navigate uncharted waters, and it's more difficult for them than it is for threes, right? Like I said earlier, balancing kids and work, worried about finances, wondering if you're going to have a job, basic anxiety. How about loneliness? Loneliness. So threes have to remember that lots of the folks they work with or who work for them may not be able to perform at the level they've previously come to expect from them, right? So they need to be patient.
Okay.
They need to be tender. They need to ask how people are feeling before they ask them how they're doing.
That's
or
good.
what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
They need to value people over productivity right now, okay? And most of all, they need to extend grace to themselves and to others, right? Sometimes for a stress 3, this stuff doesn't come naturally, right? They're in mode, man. And when your personality is in mode, in automatic pilot, that's where a 3 is going to go. They need to work on that.
I love just the idea of like taking a few of these things, for the 3, writing them down on a little card. If they're about to make a phone call, just remember, start the conversation with, how are you? What's going on with you before the bottom line,
Yes. Yeah. People over productivity. That should be a mantra right now.
How about a number 2, second tip?
Yeah. So every number, has a basic addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like, ones have an addiction to improving themselves, others, and the environment. 2s have an addiction to needing to be needed. Okay, these are compulsions that are really kind of built into they're kind of hardwired into us as little people.
Mm-hmm.
So threes have an addiction to productivity and overworking, and it can run riot, particularly when you're working from home. Okay, why? Because there's nothing to stop you.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Like normally, if you work in an office setting, right, there are natural built-in breaks to the day, like going out for lunch or running into colleagues in the hallway and having a conversation that takes 15 or 20 minutes, right? Decompressing on the commute home in the car, listening to you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
There are no like threes can, when they're working at home, right, remotely, they can get up at 6 o'clock and not get up from their desk until 6 o'clock, right? They're not taking breaks to go to the gym. They can't go to the gym, right?
Right.
So what I want threes to do is structure their day in such a way that it includes non-goal oriented activities.
Okay.
Non-goal oriented activities like reading for pleasure, sitting down and listening to a podcast that's non-work related, okay? Just a podcast they enjoy. Read a book aloud with your partner, you know, for an hour a day. Take a run, go for a walk. Sort of build these sort of breaks into the day so that you just don't go into manic work mode.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's important for us to not let our personalities take over, and that's how it'll show up in the life of the three.
That's good. Number 3.
Okay, so this is similar to what I said to ones, but you know, it's a little bit of a different flavor in the fabric. Okay.
Okay.
It's really important for threes to share their fears, their struggles, and their failures in their lives, about what's happening in their lives with their family and their colleagues. Okay, like that's what great leadership involves, right? Is knowing how to share vulnerability in an appropriate way. Right? So, you know, BRENE Brown, right?
Right.
She has a great quote. She says, vulnerability as a resource in leadership can impact the entire culture and creativity of a team. It can increase output. It can create a place for courage and is a strength that should be harnessed.
Wow.
Now that's great advice for every type, but particularly for threes. Like, because here's the deal with threes. Threes can often be personable, but not personal. Right. So they have a lot of social skills. You feel like you're really connecting, but it's because they're personable, but they're not telling you anything personal.
And because you said that quote, maybe distinguish the difference between transparency and vulnerability.
Oh, that's a really good one. Yeah. So transparency is it looks like vulnerability, but it's not.
Right.
Right. Sometimes transparency can be very inauthentic, you know, whereas vulnerability, you'll know you're being vulnerable when there's fear in your chest.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? People are like sometimes I see pastors being transparent, telling things about themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you can just sort of tell they're just showing you parts of themselves that are acceptable. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe deeper than usual, but acceptable. Vulnerability is when you feel that fear in your chest. And that's what threes need to share with the people they work with, the people they live with, because that's called authenticity. And it's the antidote to their cardinal passion, which is self-deceit.
That is a great word to go out on for Enneagram threes.
Love them.
Love it. Yeah. So, hey, so good to be doing this with you.
Yeah. And what's next?
Fours.
Woo!
We know a little something about that.
We know a little something about fours. So on the next post about how to be your best self in this time of crisis, you better be listening to fours, because it is the most superior number on the Enneagram. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Anthony, I love you, bro.
Love you. Good to be with you.
Talk soon.
See ya.